2013 iteration of the Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000 was a race of two distinct halves, but none can deny we had a grandstand finish to finish what was one of the classic Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000s. Soon to be joined by our new victors. For the moment, we'll deal with second and third place. Coming home in third place after a fantastic late race display for Red Bull Racing Australia, the combination of Craig Lowndes and Warren Luff. And in second place, tries he might to score his fifth Bathurst win for Red Bull Racing Australia as well, Jamie Whincup, and of course his co-driver ably supporting him today in Paul Dumbrell. J-Dub, not much left, but that was a big go. It was an all or nothing attempt, but another great race, another great result.
Yeah, I feel a bit embarrassed talking first without the boys here, but no, we give it all we had. It's been a great week for us. I obviously hate losing, but I don't mind getting beaten occasionally. And Car 5, the FPR crew, they've come up here for many years, tried hard, been very close. It was only a matter of time before they got one. So as I said in the podium, nothing but congratulations to them. They did a phenomenal job. As I say, we give it all we had. PD did a phenomenal job like he always does, and both cars just weren't quite as strong as they should be. So we'll go away and do our homework, and hopefully come out of the weekend a better team.
Paul, you were on the top step last year, and it was obviously a euphoric moment. But at the end of that race, to be so close again, the agony of 1 year later being second looked like was pretty much readily apparent on your face.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly know what Dave and Dean felt last year in second, and nearly trying to take the win. As J-Dub said, we had a great lead in, great Sandown, great lead in all week. We were probably just a little bit weak where we didn't need to be in the race. But second at Bathurst, or second and third for the team, you've got to take that. Obviously, I think I said on Thursday or Friday, one of the biggest things of my job is to help him to obviously continue to try to win the championship. So, we've obviously banked a lot of points this weekend, and we'll just continue focusing on Queensland or Indy next week, 2 weeks.
Good job, well done. Craig, is that about as much fun as you had late in a race, so even though you didn't actually come home at the top step of the podium?
Look, it was entertaining where I was sitting. We obviously, after our last pit stop, we had a gap to close to Bridie, and I think we pretty much used the tyre to that point, and we knew Garth was still circulating. We knew he'd do a late stop. He came out with a ball of fire, really. He came out and he lunged me down into two, which there was contact, but only light. And then with that, we managed to get back on the back of them. And then, it was sort of entertaining watching Bridie block and Garth trying to find a way around. And I think a couple of times he tried to lunge Bridie, but he always didn't make it. But, of course, the last opportunity opened the door for me, and of course got around both of them, and then it was really head down and trying to drive the car straight and clean, and we managed to pull a gap on him at that point, which I was a little bit surprised because I thought he'd have tyre life to come back at us, but we managed to hold it looked like probably half a second gap, and then from there on in it was just a matter of driving the car straight. Thankfully there was only 3 laps left.
Looked like there wasn't much of the rear tyres left, though.
No.
Luffy, you might be able to answer this question because obviously Craig was pretty busy doing what he was doing, but yet again you've come from a little bit too far back. How did you get that far back?
Look, the guys sort of made a few changes in the last sort of pit stop for Craig, and but sort of similar to last year, we probably just didn't have the car that was quick enough all day, and obviously the track conditions came to us at the end, and again, Craig did an absolutely stellar job at the end there to be able to bring us home third. So as PD said, we obviously need to go away and have a bit of a think about Gold Coast in a couple of weeks as to how we can probably come up with a better race car. Same as these guys, we had a great lead into the weekend, but the car probably just wasn't sharp enough for the large part of the day.
Let's get into some questions, folks. Our race winners will be here imminently, so let's start with the Red Bull Racing combination if we could.
Jamie, you said the car wasn't quite sharp enough. I mean, PD pulled out a 13-second lead early or whatever it was. You've missed winning the race by 0.4 of a second. It sounds like it was reasonably sharp. What was it missing?
Obviously it was good, and we improved it as the day went on, and it was very fast at the start of the day, which is unfortunately not when the checkered flag is. But we were weak out of the Dipper, weak out of Forest Elbow, which is really that's the key area where you need to be fast to make a lunge down Conrod or into the last corner. So that was really my only opportunity. I was very quick in the last sector, but couldn't come onto Conrod straight. So I was just missed the setup.
Jamie,
yep.
The extra stop that you had over the other car.
Yep.
And also, was that called because you thought there might have been a safety car with that little bit of debris over at the entrance to the chase?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I was asleep at that stage, so I don't know what happened there. I don't know, no idea. But it could have either been that. No, I doubt it was that. It would have been just to shorten up the next stop. So at one stage there, we were running. I think we were running third or fourth with 20 seconds more fuel. So we were definitely in the box seat. We all would have peeled off into the pits, and we would have been 15 seconds up the road. But fortunately, the car was a handful to drive, and Petey did a great job keeping on the track most of the time.
Jamie, the turn 2 last lap, you had the big crack at Frosty. Can you talk us through it, please?
Yeah. I thought I may as well have a crack. That's what Bathurst is all about. He broke relatively early down the inside and had a big dip around the outside, and he had a bit of a panic and come off the brake. He thought, oh no, he's going to run my outside. Come off the brake, went in, and then you're never going to go around the outside with all those marbles there. But happy I had a go. Happy that we both played a straight bat, and it was all fair deal.
Jamie, when you made that final move, how much was the championship on your mind?
Not at all. As I say, this is the biggest race of the year, so I'm happy to. I'd prefer to be in the fence, knowing I had to go, than just run second. So, it was. We had a good go. Mark drove extremely well. Had some crazy punter come almost on the track at Conrad Straight last lap, which is pretty nuts. After that we just sort of brought it home. But it's. I'm sure both Mark and I got this video going on for 20 minutes where he was making errors, I was making errors. We're absolutely on the limit there, and would have been so easy for one of us to make a mistake and stick it in. Hence why I can't congratulate him anymore. He hung it on the line for over 30 laps and didn't really make a mistake to cost him the lead. So he deserved it.
PD, just a couple for you. Just before lap 100, you came off for the end of your stint after having 2 offs at the chase. Were you feeling fatigued, or was it the car?
No, it was the first time I've sort of been following cars all day, so just a little bit of brake fade and whatnot, and just a few mistakes. So, you just can't do those on these big days. So it certainly cost us a bit of track position and time. So certainly maybe it was a day of what could have been as well for myself.
And the second one, you've been involved with FPR before, so is this sort of a bittersweet day for you in a way?
Oh, it's good. As Jamie said, FPR is a great team. Been there 2 years prior to coming to Red Bull Racing. They've worked tirelessly up here year on year, and they've always come away with second fiddle or not on the podium. So it's a credit to them. They've worked really, really hard. Obviously, the new owners, Rusty French and Rod Nash, good friend of mine. So couldn't be prouder for them to get the win.
Jamie, sorry to ignore the rest of you. How difficult for you? How tough is it to lose a race like that, so close?
As I said, I didn't really lose. We got beaten by a class act today. So I'm happy. I did everything I could in a reasonably good car. Hey, go easy, mate. Go easy. It's 80 grand.
Might be an opportune moment to have some volume, perhaps. Opportune moment to introduce our winners. Scoring his 23rd career win and first Bathurst win, Mark Winterbottom, and scoring his 3rd Bathurst win and 8th career win, Stephen Richards, the winner of the 2013 Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000. And Frosty, I know you've told your story on the podium and you've told your story to the Channel 7 news services, and I won't ask you any questions. I'll stay with the questions from the floor for the moment because I know everybody's desperate to ask you the questions that you need to answer. So we'll go straight to questions from the floor if we could.
That was easy.
Good.
Ask your question. Yeah. So, Frosty, just tell us how you feel, what your thoughts are. You've finally done what you've been trying to do all these years, so let the emotions pour, mate.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I've been trying so hard, and for 10 years been coming here, and I've been coming here for longer than that. 4 years old was my first trip to the mountain, and just wanted to hold that trophy at some stage. So to finally win it, and the battle at the end, and the way that we did it, and to do it with Richo and to do it with FPR, and it's just amazing. I'm speechless almost. It's so good to hold that trophy, and the reception you get on the podium, that's ridiculous. So so good, and yeah, it's gonna sink in, I'm sure, later. But the whole team, the way we worked hard, we've been written off a few times, with different things. But what a way to bounce back! This is amazing.
Frosty, take us through the last 15, 20 laps. Jamie was right over you, and the last couple of laps he had the go. Tell us what was going through your mind at the time.
I was hoping he'd go the outside at turn 2, so I was going to go around the on that last lap. I needed a bit of a buffer because at the chase he was quite strong, and that headwind pretty much just gave him a tow every lap, so he's always towing back up to me down the straight. So he went around the outside, and then it goes off camber, and he just couldn't hold it. So after that was good. But the last 20 laps, I wasn't comfortable with the car all day, so just wanted to try and not make mistakes. And I knew where my strengths were and where I was weak, so just tried to battle on. But yeah, it was good to get that last little gap at the end. Come down the main straight, a bloke ran on the track with a forward flag waving at me, so I had to go around him. But I knew we won Bathurst down that straight, and that was awesome. So I needed that little buffer, and yeah, it's good to get this trophy.
Richo, what's it like? A 3-time winner now.
Oh mate, it's so long since the second one I can't remember. So it's nice to, yeah. I mean, we, as Frosty said, couldn't be happier to win it with Frosty. If you talk in terms of the three, this is the best. I know the trials and the tribulations, and also the great successes FPR have had, and this just caps it. This just chalks one of those big ones off the board. So it means a lot.
How hard were those last 20, 30 laps for you?
A lot harder for me than him, that's for sure.
Craig, just for you, that podium today, 12 out of 20 races now, and I think you equal Peter Brock, Larry Perkins and Jim Richards as the most amount of podiums at the Great Race. So another bit of history with your name in it?
Oh, yeah, thanks. I think that's, we worked pretty hard that late stage of the race. As our cars, I think we all basically said that cars weren't perfect, but I'd used up the tyre trying to catch Bridie, and then when Tanner came out on a fresh set of rubber, it was always going to be difficult to hold him. And then, of course, those two had their own battles and allowed me through, which is sensational. It's great for us as a team to have a 2-3. You'd like to be on the podium here regardless of what spot it is. You'd like to be on top spot, but like to be on a podium here is quite incredible. As Frosty said, to stand on top of the podium and hear the crowd below you, it's a hard feeling to describe, because it's just so emotional. Even, for us, it's just so great to stand up there.
I'll ask one. Frosty, have you ever been under more pressure than that?
No. What's at stake? It's such a big prize, and yeah, I felt under pressure because the car, like I said, I was fighting it at times. Actually, Richo was more comfortable in it than probably I was all day. But yeah, that last lap, it was definitely a lot going on. So yeah, there's been points throughout your whole career, whether it was go-karts to get a scholarship from Ford to get into Formula Ford, or there's been some big moments, but yeah, nothing anywhere near that. So, and I kept seeing the screen, and Richo was on screen. He was making me nervous too, because I was coming out of the chase. There's a big TV there, and they kept panning to him, and he made me nervous. So, your nerves were my nerves, but no, it was nail biter.
But there was a lot of talk in the last 2 or 3 weeks about FPR and their trials and tribulations with wheel nuts and all the rest of it. And there were probably a lot of people saying, well, when's something going to go wrong? Did that just add to it or not?
Like Richo said, to cross that line and to do it with this team, and to do it with Richo as well, to hear the FPR chant on the podium, I've never heard that before. There's perfect timing with the Ford announcement. There's so many things that have gone this weekend that win just sort of caps it off. Yeah, I'm sure we've been kicked a bit, but we've worked hard, and the guys at the workshop, they don't just sit there and cop it on the chin. They go and work hard, and they bought 200 new wheel nuts. We had an engineer group working purely on wheel nuts, so you can imagine how happy they're going to be when we get back. So, and we didn't have any issues all day, so we've proven that we can do it.
Frosty, you'll be driving back to Sydney tomorrow for the fans in Sydney. as you drive past Lithgow and look over to the right to see the old track, can you talk about what that's going to feel like, knowing that it started there and an hour up the road you've reached certainly a pinnacle?
Yeah, the first racing in go-karts was at Lithgow, so it was definitely a pretty special place. And that Bellsliner Road, that was pretty special too. I used to do that trip and used to be nervous going to Lithgow and be sick every time we went there because the winding road and the nerves. And then now we drive to Bathurst and I still feel sick on the way up because of the nerves. So some great memories there, and it's special that to have those first moments. And there's been a lot of people who have helped me along the way, that whether it was go-karts at Lithgow days and on, that should be sharing this moment as well, because it's pretty special.
1,000 kilometres without a roll centre adjustment, was that a challenge for each of you?
There's other adjustments on the car I guess you can do, so.
I think too, though, the conditions this weekend, I mean, probably the new cars, you could say something about those too, but I think the conditions this year were probably the most different they've been for 10 years. And probably part of that is because we knew the old cars so well, we knew exactly what to change. There's still some things we can change in the cars, but just today, I've never had so many near misses as I did today for no reason. You're just sort of arriving at the same place, doing the same thing, and all of a sudden the conditions have changed, the wind, the gusts as you pop up over the hump at Conrod. It's just an incredible day, and the intensity of the racing was just unbelievable.
No further questions. Time for one last one. I might pose one. Frosty, the whole opener to the program today on Channel 7 was all about family. What's it like standing on the podium, being able to look down and see Renee and the two boys?
Yeah, that's like I said, there's a lot of people who help you, and my wife Renee's definitely helped me a lot this weekend. So I was up coughing last night between 2 and 3, and she went and got me some maple syrup and had a bit of that, and then that's not code for anything too, you dirty buggers. But there'll be no sleeping tonight, I can guarantee that. Welcome the third child.
Well, folks, I think we should recap and celebrate again with a round of applause for our Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 winners, Stephen Richards and Mark Winterbottom for Pepsi Max Crew, FPR and Ford.